Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Kiefner, and for this week on my Management 2010 project, I will be doing it on Google's positive company culture. So just to give some background on Google, in 1995, Larry Page and Sergey Brin met and worked on a new search engine called Backrub, and at the time, Larry Page was a PhD student at Stanford University, and Sergey was considering studying there. So the name of Backrub comes from the algorithm generated from ranking how many backlinks a page has. And then in 1997, Google.com was registered after Backrub failed. There were a couple issues with it, so they started Google. And the name Google is a play on Google, Googol, and this is essentially a mathematical term that means the number one followed by 100 zeros. And so it's just kind of showing how far the internet reaches and how many links Google has. One thing that's really important to consider when looking at Google and the company overall is that since the founding of Google, the company culture has not drastically changed. This world-class company culture is a key part in Google's employer brand, and the unofficial model or the value is don't be evil, which is both relatable and easy to achieve. And the official model that they brand is as follows: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And this is extremely important as well because if you ask pretty much any employee at Google, they can recite that and they know it. Whereas a lot of companies, the employees aren't as aware of the mission of the company, and it's very evident that Google is not that way. Now I'm going to go into all the reasons why Google is a unique and such a successful company, and I'm going to start with the fact that it's built on data. So Google focuses on qualitative and quantitative data when making decisions, and they optimize data-backed decisions to ensure meaningful and positive, impactful choices. For example, Google has also performed studies to find out how much paid time off new mothers receive, and what the best way to launch an employees' engagement strategy is. Essentially, it's all to figure out how they can build a better culture, and they're always looking at this, they're always trying to better themselves, which makes them so successful. One thing that Google is very well known for is that they make the workplace enjoyable rather than just having stressful work all of the time. Google leads with innovation that does not make them have cubicles and boring work environments. Regardless of working longer hours and even weekends, employees at Google still claim to truly love going to work. This is because all of their needs are met in the workspace. Everything is provided to them, such as food, fun, relaxation, exercise, etc. So Google provides a long list of perks to their employees at no cost, which is extremely unique to Google as a company. All meals and snacks, basic health and dental checkups, haircuts, dry cleaning, massages, gyms and swimming pools, nap pods, video game stations, and table sports are all included at no cost for them. The company is also firm believers that happier employees are more creative and productive. They strive to instill an environment where they can express creativity, and employees are encouraged to work in any environment they please. This way, they're not restricted to cubicles, as I mentioned before, and they may work anywhere, such as the lounge areas, cafeteria, beanbag chairs, or anywhere else they desire. When we're looking at the recruiting aspect of Google, the recruiters perform a 6-second test where they review an application in just that amount of time. And by doing this, they're able to skim through applications seeking to be impressed by great character and drive. And they value fun, humble, innovative, and team-oriented people. This is done because Google receives over 2 million job applications per year, and they're only able to hire 7,000, so as you can imagine, they don't have that much time. They also believe that soft skills such as self-starting people are essential to their workplace, while skills such as coding and design can be taught once a prospective employee isn't hired. When I was researching this project, one thing I thought was really interesting about Google is that they refer to their human resources department as people operations. Google People Operations Department focuses on being proactive, whereas most HR departments at other companies take a more reactive approach. For example, a few years ago, Google noticed that they had a high turnover rate for women. When they were trying to reduce this turnover, they conducted some research and found that high turnover rate was not associated with all women, just new mothers. As a solution to this, Google started offering 18 weeks of paid maternity leave, and they had more women coming back. Google's open communication policy is instilled through a flat organizational structure that allows employees to share their voice. This organization encourages employees on any level to communicate without a sense of hierarchy amongst one another. Open door policies like Google's make it so that there's no limit on one's eagerness and ability to voice their opinions, and that they won't be scared that somebody will put them down for their ideas. Google has 10 core values that give employees a clear idea of their values and goals. I'll read them off to you real fast. So the first one is focus on the user and all else will follow. It's best to do one thing really, really well. Fast is better than slow. Democracy on the web works. You do not need to be at your desk to need an answer. You can make money without doing evil. There's also more information out there, or always more information out there. The need for information crosses all borders. You can be serious without a suit. And finally, great just is not good enough. By doing this and highlighting what is important to Google, this allows them to work with and hire like-minded people who respect and appreciate these values. In addition, Google believes company culture and innovation cannot be separated from one another. In order to stay competitive, Google does the following. They hire the most innovation minds on the market, as I mentioned. They hold sessions where employees are told to think outside the box and release creativity. And finally, they encourage the utilization of any resources possible and as many as possible to come up with new solutions. Overall, they reward their employees who provide groundbreaking ideas and are able to escape the normal ways of thinking. Mobility within the company for Google is also extremely important. Google makes sure to provide employees with the exact job description that they want, not just the job they're given. They highlight people's strengths and weaknesses and capitalize on the best way for them to work. This method retains more employees and gives them more leeway and freedom to do what they want. When I was reviewing all of my information, I thought that the best way that what we learned in class connected to Google and their work environment is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. So essentially, Abraham Maslow proposes that people are motivated by 5 needs. So I'm going to go through each of them and talk about how these needs connect to what Google supplies for their workers and all sorts of things like that. First of all, the physiological needs. Google provides employees with shelter, food, comfort, and much more. For the safety aspect, workers are provided with health insurance, haircuts, and dental checkups, and a safe workplace. Pretty much anything that they need is in their own workplace. They don't have to go outside for work. They don't have to go get health insurance elsewhere. Everything is provided for them. Love. This is not just like romantic love. This is employees are provided with office parties, regular meetings, and a friendly, transparent work environment where they can feel appreciated and wanted and needed. Esteem. All workers are equally respected and there is little to no visible hierarchy. They are rewarded for bonuses, rewards, and anything that whenever they demonstrate creativity, they are rewarded for that. Finally, self-actualization. Every person is appreciated for both their strengths and weaknesses, and most importantly, they're assisted in their improvement journey. They are not hurt for any mistakes they made. They are just encouraged to improve. Now, finally, to wrap up my presentation, I'm just going to go through a couple different notes and reminders of why Google is such a unique, effective work environment. First of all, the company has been deservingly receiving many various awards since they started up, Google was named the 2014 Best Company to Work For by the Great Place to Work Institute and Fortune magazine. This is because Google's workforce is one instilled with genuine motivation. Every possible need an employee may have is met. And just kind of to explain why I chose to do this presentation, I'll just explain that to you. Although it may be a lofty goal, it has been my dream to work for Google as a manager of some sort since probably sometime in high school. Their company is so attractive to a prospective employee like myself because of the way they're able to care for their employees and make work more enjoyable, not just stressful, and something like a 9 to 5 like that. Google utilizes both intrinsic and extrinsic rewards for their employees, and this is because they're not hesitant to give out promotions, raises, bonuses, and more to employees who work hard and demonstrate their clearly highlighted values. In addition, I would feel extremely rewarded and proud of myself to work for such a successful, well-established company. Their mission and values align with my own, and I really respect them for what they stand for. Finally, thank you for listening, and I really hoped you enjoyed my presentation.